simply because we want to be able to knit from either end. So I need to cast on 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. That's the small number of stitches I'm going to start with. Now I'm going to begin at an edge just because I find that's a really easy place to start. And I'm going to insert my needle into one of those edge stitches. Now I'm going to wrap my yarn around my needle as if to knit. I'm going to pull it through my work. So now I have 4 stitches on my needle, and one of them is connecting sort of the other 3 to the edge of my work. Now I'm going to shift these 4 to the other side of the needle, and I'm going to knit. So I'm going to knit 1, 2, and for the last 2 stitches, I'm going to knit those together through the back loop. To do that, I insert my needle into the back loop of each of the next 2 stitches. I wrap my yarn around my needle and I pull through. This just kind of locks our applied iCord to the actual piece we're making. So I'm going to go into the next end of the row, and same thing. I'm going to wrap my yarn around my needle, shift them down to the other side. I'm going to knit 2, knit 2 together through the back loop. So again, going through the back loop of the next 2 stitches, I'm going to wrap my yarn around my needle and pull through. So this kind of just gives me a really nice applied edging. Now, the one thing to keep in mind while you're doing this is that you don't want to pull too tightly from the stitch that you pick up and when we knit this first stitch. But you also don't want to do it too loose. If you go too loosely, and I'll show you, you're going to have all this kind of extra yarn in the back. And if you go too tightly, it's going to pull both your fabric and the stitches that you're currently knitting. So you just want to go until kind of your yarn really tells you to stop. And then we knit 2, and again, knit 2 through the back loop. And you continue working this all the way up the side, and in the corner, you'll do the same process, but you'll work it a total of 3 times. And when you work it those 3 times into this corner, what it actually gives you, and I'll show you on our finished sample here, is it goes around this corner nicely. If I wouldn't do that, it would buckle in.